Hello, everybody, and welcome to Attempts at Governance. This is episode 240. We want to apologize for the delay this fine afternoon, morning, evening, middle of the night, wherever you're from. But something weird happened with our 2.5-year-old Google Meet link. I guess we didn't make it to some new transfer, probably AI related. I don't know what's going on over there. But seems to me this week there are going to be a lot of openings for software developers at Apple, at Google. Take your pick. It's all going to shit. But we made it here today, and we're very happy to see you. We're going to start with the state of the Treasury, which is looking kind of nice this week. Just this past week, we just kind of sipped from the Treasury, just a little bit down on all regards here. We're down 90,000 DOT, which is worth $369,000. That brings that DOT Treasury to 25.51 million DOT. We're down 20,000 USDT, bringing it to 3.3 million, and down just 10,000 USDC, bringing that Treasury to 4.07 million. That's the state of the Treasury. I'll now throw it over to Funky. Welcome back, sir, for the State of the Funk.
Thank you so much, Jay. The State of the Funk is admittedly breathless this morning because for a number of reasons. First and foremost, had a great run, but more importantly, I got to play the FIFA rivals, and I was a little breathless when I had to select my age and basically went all the way or halfway into that meter between 50, 0, and 100. So, I'll be 50 in August, but also just breathless because I'm happy to see you guys again. Had a wonderful vacation in Mexico last week. Took probably had about 3 or 4 days completely away from screens, totally devoted to my wonderful wife, Erin. And so that time was very precious to me, but excited to be back and looking forward to today's conversation. So thanks so much, Jay.
Nice. You came back at a great time, and great to have you. Why, everybody's playing FIFA Rivals, but I look at my Apple Store, it's not launching until tomorrow in Canada.
No, that was this morning. It has since updated. So if you should be able to go in there, because I had that same issue where it said it was available, and then but then I just had to run an update. And then once I ran the update, the game opened up and everything was, and then I have that pesky, how old are you? From 0 to 100.
Yeah.
I want to meet the 100-year-old, the centenarian or whatever that's playing FIFA Rivals. I want to meet that guy.
All right, we'll see him on the pitch. Thanks very much, Funky. We'll now throw it over to Limo for a look at refs gone by this week.
Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at the Web Zero place in Berlin. Right, we've got a few refs gone by. So, first one is by Mimir on the medium spender tracker. A lot of these are medium spenders. This is ref 1572. This was approved. It was for 157,000 USDT for a retroactive funding of the Mimir multi-sig app. It's actually pretty good. If you haven't tried it, you should try it out. Then we've got the bounty manager team, ref 1564. This was rejected, and it was for 99,000 USDC for funding the bounty hub. Then we've got Damski, ref 1560. This was approved, and this is for 70,000 USDT for .memo v2, enhanced features for on-chain event memories for Polkadot. .memo is pretty good as well. You should try it out. Then we've got the guys from EasyA, ref 1560. This was approved as well, and it's for 392.5 thousand USDC for EasyA Milestone 2 in-person hackathons and in-app Polkadot 2.0 crash course. Then we've got the Robonomics team, ref 1559. This was approved as well. This is for 150,000 USDT for kickstarting a campaign for RISC-V smart home devices secured by Polkadot. And again, a good example of if your ref gets rejected, try again with a different approach. And then we've got an anon account, ref 1558. This was rejected, but it was for 95,000 USDC for supporting the launch of Polkadot Hub campaign to onboard Web2 developers in LATAM and beyond. Then we've got Volmex that came back the second time, ref 1555. This was rejected, and it was for 425,000 USDC for Volmex integration with the Polkadot DEX ecosystem. And then we've got Open for Blockchain on a small spender, was rejected for 35,000 USDT for a Google Drive document integrity and certification system for secure proposals. And they've saved the worst for last.
Oh no.
Jay back on a big tipper, ref 1594, absolute state of the grift. This was approved, and it's for 9.5 thousand USDC for RFP Fund app, a Polkadot child bounty integration, and public RFP board, which is pretty cool. And that, I think, is all the refs gone by.
Very nice. Yeah, actually, Aaron has already been playing around with that unified RFP job board that we're going to be doing as part of the scope for this RFP launcher app. It looks pretty cool. And we also did, Limo, select the team for KSM RFP number 4, the Big Tipper launcher, so people can launch tips, get a little piece of the tip. We gave it to Marin from, he's part of the pink team, I believe, isn't he? But what was that ape game? On the apes, on the oops. Anyway, our friend Marin.
Glimmer Apes.
Yeah,
Glimmer
Yes,
Apes,
yes, Glimmer Apes. So he's going to be building that. Thanks for everybody who applied for the RFP, and make sure you keep a lookout for a lot more coming soon. We are going to start today with the title ref. This is with Alex and Sarah, new friends, a new roll up on Polkadot, Mubert. And I actually got the chance to try this product out on the weekend and dink around with some AI creation. They're here for an events-based proposal partnered with Pudgy Penguins, and we're going to throw 8 minutes on the clock and give them time to speak about referendum 1592. Alex, Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, guys. And I would like to start with some introduction for the protocol that we are building, just to let you know what we are doing, where we are at the moment, what are our plans. And so I'm trying to share the screen. Hope everyone sees. Okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Right. So we are building a roll-up for AI music and creator economy. Basically, what it means, we are building the economy for any AI content that is developed by two kinds of audiences in the market. So one is the creator people who create content on YouTube, Twitch, streaming services, and you name it. And the other ones are the original copyright owners that provide data sets, original raw content, any kind of like their own pieces that they create. So basically, we come from Web2 industry where we have a quite successful product, and now we are developing the backend for this one and for the next our steps on Polkadot. Some numbers that we have reached for the last 7 years that we built this product. So we have now the flagship product that is being used by almost 1.5 million users on the platform. We also have an API which is installed in many creator tools, including Restream, Lamwire, InStories, Vidio, PixArt. So like amazing tools that are used by creators, where we have reached around 20 million users by today. We were the first in the world who generated the first 100 million tracks. Mostly all of them are used commercially. So our audiences, they are like 99% are YouTube bloggers or Twitch streamers. And some of them are professional creators who create professional content for advertising, for agencies, and for some short form content as well. On the creator side, where we have the data sets, we have 3 million tracks, which is our own data set that we have collected for a long period of time. And it took us a long work to get all these small pieces of music to the platform, and they will be tokenized as well. And it was provided by 10,000 music creators. And that's all. It's the economy now that works and generates us around $1 million per year, which is pretty good for AI music. And now we started to generate the first revenue from the YouTube royalties. That's the amazing and the first one in the world for AI music. Actually, what is the problem? It's about AI music, but I think it's about all AI content. It's completely broken. So there is no standards, there is no royalty payouts, there is lack of ownership. Nobody cares about the original creators. Nobody cares how this algorithm works. There is no licensing there. So the data sets are selling like for the cheap price for one buyout, and nobody gets this royalty back. So we decided to solve it with our own platform, where we do this already in fiat currency, but we think that it's completely fair and transparent when we speak about working with labels like Warner and Sony. They need transparency, and that's where we are now by building this roll-up or a parachain for IP and revenue flows. So basically, it will work pretty simple. Every content that is generated, it contains different flows to the original content. And then when it is being reused, somehow it again connects to the previous content. And everyone is being compensated by this flow. So basically, whenever we get revenue from publishing platforms or from subscriptions or from API, we distribute this royalty to the original copyright owners. The strategy behind is not to focus on only on music, but we also want to onboard our existing clients like Restream. We also in the conversation with Canva to spread it more to the all kinds of creative content and to become the layer one for the whole creator economy. That's the plan now. And step by step, we start onboarding more and more and more data sets now. I mean, we are not focusing on our own data set, but also on board the new ones. And we started to establish the connections with tier one artists. Now in the pipeline, we have Moby, Gorillaz, Basement Jacks, some of the like big names, and they are happy to try some kind of work with AI, but they need to see the transparency, and that's why this parachain will help definitely to do this.
And also what's important to mention here, data on chain is literally going to be the next meta. Like large companies looking towards that. Examples are Story Protocol. Example is literally Animoca focusing big time right now on data on chain, which is why we decided to not go forward with just building a decentralized application, but building a chain that literally hashes data on it. That is basically the approach. And now I'm going to take over. Thank you, Ryan, for the time. And I love the clock setup. So why are we actually now proposing an event, right? So Alex mentioned in the beginning that we focus on these tier one communities and NFT collections. We signed already an MOU with Pudgy Penguins to bring them on top of our first product, which is going to bring more users towards the parachain, our NFT to music feature. This is going to be the first of its kind, and Pudgy Penguins is going to be our flagship NFT community to get there. Part of the go-to-market strategies and anti-Asian events tour, where we launched this exact feature while onboarding more Web2 companies to drive even more transaction to the backend, aka the Mubert protocol. So this is not just an approach to be seen out there. This is an approach to get more users to the Mubert protocol and, more importantly, to the Polkadot ecosystem. Reach new audiences across social media and in real-life events, while also push out towards a generation that had no touch points or use cases with blockchain technology yet, aka the creator economy or Gen Z. This is why we are proposing this treasury proposal. We already have a great grant support from the Polkadot ecosystem, which is solely focused on technology. We proposed our event series in the bounty and got rejected twice. We already push Polkadot across our own social media efforts, including our entire female community, every social media post, and more towards these audiences we already have. This is a proposal to not just push Mubert protocol out there. This is a proposal to push the Polkadot ecosystem, wallets, and builders towards an entirely new target audience. And this is why we proposed it. I think that is a great summary.
Well done. Okay, let's hear what Lorena has to say in the dwindling seconds here. Go ahead, Lorena.
Thank you for the proposal. It's very interesting. You mentioned that you had already presented to the bounty and was rejected. I saw in the proposal that you present to the event bounty. Have you talked with the marketing bounty?
We
Because
talked
I
to
see.
one. Sorry, please go on. I'm way too fast. Please go on.
Because it would be great if you can present this proposal to marketing bounty. For me, it's a specific bounty for that, okay? Because it's
Okay.
marketing actions. So,
All right, let's give Sarah a
Yes.
chance to respond. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, so we definitely proposed it to the events bounty, and we're in touch with a team member from Polkadot, also in close in touch with the marketing team there. And they recommended us to go through the events bounty because it seems like this is a great fit. Obviously, we have already support to push it towards the marketing bounty team. But again, we got rejected for these event series. And based on what we proposed, it seemed like that would be a fit for the events treasury, events bounty. And in case there is a way to get it through with the marketing bounty, we're definitely open to discuss that and take back or decline a treasury acceptance. But for us, the goal is again to drive this form of attention. Yes, Mario.
It feels more that this is actually for the events bounty, right? It is an event that you're doing and less
Thank
for the
you.
marketing bounty. Quick question. I know that we are a little bit short on time. Did you get any response why it was rejected? I'm curious about that.
Me
Why
too.
is it rejected?
I can give you the exact points. So we have one that is it was a too short timeline. The second one that it's an event series and not just a single event we are proposing. But we have, by the way, I'm a very data-driven and we build a data chain, a very data-driven and specific person when it comes to finance, and I can tell Alex as well because we are very close on this. And every single point when it comes to the budget for every single event, as well as return on invest, target, deliverables, everything you can see it in the treasury proposal, how clean we work, is in there. So everything is clearly stated why we are requesting these funds for these activations.
But this is, you're new, I think. And then if you start with one and then you move on with a series, that would be better. I mean,
we tried as well.
You tried that?
We tried the first one for Token 2049. That would have been the first offer from Pudgy Penguin for an activation. We got rejected as well.
Okay. All right. Just to speak to the one point there with the events bounty, they are very strict about timelines because they do get obviously last minute requests all the time.
Yes.
Personally, at this point, I'm interested to hear direct from the events bounty or someone on the events bounty at some point. But personally, I'm very much in favor of this very small spend for seems like a massive impact.
Thank you.
This is how I'm currently feeling, but we're going to explore this more. And it was really nice to have you guys on today to kind of start this conversation off. Thank you very much for showing up and welcome to Polkadot. Sorry for the frustration.
Thank you. I'll go just one more thing, Ryan. I love your setup.
Okay, Ryan, you've been very restrained here because we are 3 minutes over.
I mean, it was. I can't shut the funk up for their first time on AAG, right? I mean, that'd be very rude. We have to be a little bit welcoming. So
next time, if we go over, you're going to be asked possibly to shut the funk up, which is a little bit rude, but obviously it was very good idea this time. Very kind, very kind. Yeah, that's funky. All right, guys, thank you very much for coming. And cool chain and cool product. I encourage everybody to check it out. Mubert.com. Is that right? Mubert.com.
You should visit mubert.xyz because it explains more about the parachain, but there will be the links to the original product as well, the demos, the API. You can try anything you want.
Cool stuff. Guys, thanks very much. You're welcome to stick around and see what else happens on the show, but thank you very much for starting us off. We're going to move on now to the next ref, which could be, yes, Josiah, because it's 2 a.m. It's getting close to the next day here. It's in the next day. You're back.
Totally the next
You're back, man, with the opals.
I'm back with the opals.
We had you on Discovery putting back in the old Remark days, right? Putting a real item on chain, and you did it all on the Discovery channel. And I think you're going back. We're gonna put 8 minutes on the timer. Take it away, my man.
That's cool. I don't think I'll be all of that, but pretty much, guys. For those that don't know me, my name's Josiah Kotzer. I'm an opal miner. I'm a blockchain enthusiast, a builder, ambassador, all the hats that us Polkadot folk swear. But yeah, so like I'm going to be 2022 2023, I did 8 series with Discovery Channel on a international series called Outback Opal Hunters. Essentially, it's a whole bunch of dirty miners mining opal. I've got an opal mine in the heart of Australia, and find opal, sell opal, make millions. This is the sort of gist of the storyline. Anyways, I'm going back on the show. I'm doing 4 episodes this year. They want me for more, but I've denied them because of other obligations. But essentially, I've been trying to work out how I can get Polkadot on there. We did a metaverse sale last season, and I want to do something similar again this way to try and get the Polkadot and maybe the Polkadot ambassadors or somehow involved. I've put up a forum post going over a bit of a briefing on what it is that I'm wanting to bring up as a topic and eventually a proposal. I've got to act pretty fast because filming starts in about a month. But essentially, the one part that I can pull anyone on is when I do a sales scene. So during a sales scene, I can pretty much, they film me doing day-to-day mining. Normally there's some challenges. We find opal, we sell opal, etc. In the past, I've showcased very briefly Nova Wallet, and I did the metaverse sale. So I'm looking to do something similar. I'd like to propose an opal buy by the fellowship or by the the Polkadot Treasury. And I will do my best to sort of wrap the narrative around this, blockchain crypto community that's looking to buy a real world asset, to digitize it and put it in the metaverse or put it in the game or etc. The exact storyline can be crafted now. But one thing's for sure is that when it comes to KPIs, it's 100 countries. It gets a viewership between 100 and then 180 million. You can just Google this, and it's very, very out there in your face. And it's a sort of a compounding effect. So even though the last episode I did was quite a few years ago, that's still being aired in different countries, in different jurisdictions, and different platforms even. So what the idea is, essentially, I sell an opal to the Polkadot Treasury. We allocate a certain amount, and I offer open IP for the Polkadot community to use that in whatever way, shape, or form they want. And the asset can be stored, the physical asset can be stored. I'm talking to an Australian museum at the moment that may be interested, but I'll be able to source some place for it to be stored. It may just be stored in, I don't know, Gavin Wood's safe. I'm okay with that too. But one thing's for sure is that it's a very fun and exciting opportunity, and this is sort of something that I want to put out there and see if we can do it and get a bit of a vibe check. So if anyone has any questions, please spit them at me now.
All right, cool. All right, any questions or comments on this? This is a stunt on a highly viewed Discovery Channel show.
It's a good way of putting it.
What's that?
It's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big opal stunt. Hey, one thing I'll say, Josiah, since the last time you were here, now we have this marketing bounty where it's like a whole purse. It's a sub treasury, and they kind of take care of stuff like this. Have you heard about it? Have you thought about reaching out to
Yeah,
them?
I did a proposal to Marketing Bounty a few months ago, separate proposal.
Yeah.
However, they're not very good at feedback. It's my feedback to them.
Yep.
And they don't answer emails. So I'm sort of over that. And I think they're refueling their treasury now. I did another proposal, a second one, and not this topic, another topic. Yeah, so I think they're just, everything's on ice at the moment. So I've got about 5 weeks to make a decision. So I'll have to make a proposal pretty soon.
Okay.
Because if I don't have this, I can't. To put something that's photo ready, it'd have to be made, manufactured, like some sort of casting. It could be a raw opal too. That's a bit more faster. But if you want something that's like a pendant or something that's a bit more, I guess, gameable, or something that could be used in a game, it'll need something like built. But yeah, look, to just talk rough numbers. If you price it as an opal, it can be anything. Opals are very unique pieces. If you price it as a marketing stunt, it could be anywhere from 60,000 to 600,000, says Grok. I do know that the higher the number, the more heads it will turn, but it is like you said, a marketing stunt. I got interviewed by about 4 or 5 different magazines the last sale I did. So it gets picked up pretty hot with organic publishers.
Hey, you know what comes to mind to me is if you could make like a little soccer ball out of an opal and put it in FIFA Rivals or something like that.
Yeah, well, I like, look, this is it's all up in the air right now, and it's possible.
Okay, cool. I mean, they have a treasury as well that's all open. Anyway, just
Mythical do?
yeah, Mythos does, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They're
All
on
right. Well, look, I'll let you guys pass it on if no one's got any questions.
Cool.
But I just please check out my forum if anyone who's watching, please any sort of comments, I'd much appreciate it. And on a side note, I know myself and some of the other fellowship from the ambassadors got some tips for some work we've done that was approved previously by the advisors. If you could check out those tip bounties, it'd be much appreciated. But other than that, I can finish early.
All right. Well, thanks very much. It's an interesting idea, and nice to have you back on the show, sir.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Stay safe in
All right.
those
You'll see my
mines.
proposal soon, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers.
See you, mate.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to Ref 1593. We're all going to own it, baby. Wegoi. Opportunity to put Web3 at the heart of Europe's data economy. And two payments of 330,000 USDC very early in the decision period. Only one big vote out so far on the nay side. But Mario, we're going to put 8 minutes on the clock. You are going to tell us about the latest in Wegoi technology.
I will do that. I will share my screen first.
Sure.
Okay. So hopefully this will work because my computer is struggling. You see my screen, I hope?
Yes, we do. Wegoi.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Start with the logo. That's the best. Right. Okay. So today I want to talk, like you said, Jay, about proposal 1593. So the Wegoi proposal. It's still very early. I submitted this past Saturday. Now, before I dive into the proposal, I want to start with a big thank you. I want to genuinely thank everyone that helped me out where we are for the moment with this Wegoi proposal. So I spent the last 3 months working on it very quietly, but to be honest, I was never alone. There were several people from the community that took time voluntarily to give feedback, challenge ideas, help shape this proposal into what it is today. And that is very, very nice. So whether it ends up receiving an overwhelming yay or not, I want to really, really, really thank those people. And I think everyone knows who they are. Will not mention their names, but I'm really, really grateful for this. So for the few people that don't know me, I'm Mario from Belgium. So I don't use any Web3 strange names. You just can Google me. I'm a PBA alumni from Hong Kong. I'm also the founder of Polkadot, and I'm a founding member of Permanence DAO, which is currently a DV. Now, as always with our DAO, we will abstain here from voting because, of course, this is a conflict of interest. Now, let's talk about Wegoi. It stands for We All Gonna Own It. And yeah, as you probably know, there's one thing that we want to talk about. It's vehicle data. 96% of consumers, they want to control their vehicle data. That's a fact. Also a fact and a reality is that 84% of car brands are just selling your personal data. And it's a big business. McKinsey estimates this market will be worth 750 billion, which is massive. Now, luckily, Europe is stepping in, and that is with the EU Data Act. And they've made it crystal clear, data belongs to the consumer. And that's exactly what we want to achieve with Wagoi, a neutral, decentralized platform where you, the user, control and monetize your vehicle data. Now, in our first proposal, we brought some serious names here into AAG. I've got the CEO of Gaia X, the CEO of Visita. Our logo was next to the ones from Renault, Toyota, BMW, Ford, BYD, and some others. And oh yeah, we even got the first time ever Peak here on the same AAG show. It's nice. Now, what is new this time? So we are now working with ecosystem native partners like Blockdeep Labs, Pluto Framework. We've built out also a clear 2-milestone roadmap. We have an advisory board. It includes now 11 C-level experts, and we already have 1,000 users signed up to try our app. Now, the big question here, of course, is always, what does this mean for Polkadot? Well, let's take a step back. How does a blockchain create value? Like AWS or Google Cloud or some others, it thrives on volume, so users, transactions, active wallets. Now, the reality is right now, Polkadot is seeing a decline in active wallets. We had 11,300 at the start of last year, and it ended last year, Q4, at 9,000. And basically, Wagoi, we want to change that. How will we do that? Well, let's calculate a little bit. Today, we have 250 million connected vehicles in Europe. If we onboard just 1%, that would mean 2.5 million active wallets. Now, our goal is by 2026 to have 50,000 active wallets. So real users doing real transactions. And remember, Polkadot currently has only 9,000 active wallets. Now, this proposal is still very early. We still need many votes on this proposal. But maybe you're asking yourself, can they actually build this? Or maybe you're focused on minor technical details. Now, let me reassure you, those concerns are fully covered. We're working with Blockdeep Labs and Pluto Framework. So 2 teams deeply experienced in the Polkadot ecosystem. Or perhaps you're wondering, will this app actually succeed? Are there businesses interested in working with Wagoi? Well, our advisory board includes senior leaders from Nissan, Polestar, the European Commission, and even Deloitte. So these are people putting their reputation behind Wagoi because they believe in the vision. So the real question here is, if you want to vote on this, do you want to see more active wallets on Polkadot? More real transactions? So, I mean, I've been a long time member here of AAG as well, and we often fund marketing initiatives that costs more than this, with far less measurable impact. That's why I believe this proposal is a unique opportunity, not just to support a project, but to support real adoption with real users and at a real scale. Thanks, Jay. That's basically it.
Nice presentation.
Thank you.
Now, okay, we'll open it up real quick for questions. We have 1 minute left. I got a question. But anybody else have a question or comment?
Sure.
Anybody? Okay, I saw one interesting comment recently, and it was like, because you said you had Nissan and Polestar
Yeah.
on your board. Okay, so here are some big car companies. The question I saw is, I mean, if there's all this potential, where are the investors lining up to do this? Why do you come to the treasury for it?
Yeah. I think this can be I think we don't need now investors.
Okay.
This is first we need to prove that this can work, and later on the investors can come. I don't believe that this is something for investors right now. We first need to prove that Polkadot can do this with the technology that we have for the moment. If we can prove this with the Polkadot technology, then we have the investors lined up. This is now only, otherwise you only go there with a PowerPoint presentation and some names, etc. I think it's better to have some technology behind that.
Okay, only because Funky's away from the timer, we're gonna give Spectra and Blockia a chance to say. Look at the timer. You have to ask your question in 15 seconds. Lorena, go ahead. Oh no, Lorena, 15 seconds.
He's back.
Yes, Mario, how do you think
Yes.
about to attend this instead of the Treasury for Web3 Foundation in a grant? Because for me, it's a grant. No, it depends on the objective of this proposal. Maybe a grant of Web3 Foundation could be better.
And why do you think that is?
Can I answer, Jay?
Yes, good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
In 10 seconds.
We can discuss with the DB, because for me, maybe because you are exploring and they are not beneficial
Okay.
for Polkadot
Spectra.
Treasury. Maybe
Spectra,
It's-
quick comment from you, real quick.
Yeah, very quick question. When you say we need to prove for investors, what is it we need to prove? The business model or the technical side?
Technical side,
Okay.
not a business model. I mean, the business model is pretty clear because we have all those big names. It's a technicality. And if we don't do this with Polkadot, yeah. So, I mean,
Where else? All right, thanks. And
yeah, indeed.
just a quick note for anybody who might have wandered in on the main Polkadot account. When you're speaking about the decline in active wallets, you're speaking about just on the Relay chain. Active wallets in the ecosystem have actually gone up millions and millions and millions.
Yeah, I'm just using the presentation
Yes,
that's
I understand. Yeah.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
good stuff. All right. Just good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mario. And we're going to move on now, and we're going to do a lot better with time going forward, let me tell you. We are going, oh yes, finally, we have Andre. Andrea's on the show? Yes, bro, you're back.
Yes,
Nice.
hello.
Missed you last week. This is funding for Gittoral versus Code Extension, interactive Git tutorials. This is for 1,660 dot, and over halfway through the decision period. And what are you at here? 80% support, 81% support. Good for you. All right, why don't you tell us what you wanna say about this?
Yeah, hello, first of all, from Protocol Bergen, Berlin. I will share my screen first.
Fine.
But this is gonna be quickly done since it's a rather small proposal anyways.
Mhm.
Oh, can we go with someone else first? Because I need to restart now my browser in order to be able to share.
Fine. Okay. All right. We're going to restart the clock
Sorry.
now and move over to Ref 1611. These are the guys from Jamton. Fresh proposal. Still in the preparation period, actually. And this is for 99,200 USDT. A treasury proposal for funding the Jamton project stage 2. I haven't been able to check this out at all, so I'm looking forward to hearing from the guys at Jamton. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, Jay. So, yes, please, the Vladimir Sushkov, you can start sharing the screen. The Jamton team is here.
Yep.
So we have a little bit small presentation. Yeah, let's start from the proposal. So the proposal 1611, 1611. We come back and in last time in November and after in December, we asking 2 times. Some kind of support of the Jamton launch, and we didn't become this. And yeah, right now we are launching our new proposal for the stage 2. We erase everything from the stage 1 because it was done. So the stage 1, if you open the proposal, what we share in November and December, you can see that all these what it was inside the stage 1. It was released, and you can right now check it this online. So that's meaning we're delivering. And yeah, the second one, the second stage, it's also already in progress. And this, proposal for us, like the small team, it's of course the amazing opportunity to get support and to not bootstrapping like we are bootstrapping still, and but we are the team to 7 years old. We can bootstrap forever, but whatever it takes, and we come again and again till we get it. We of course going to be a little bit become some feedbacks. We have the call with the couple DAOs on the next week scheduled, so we're going to be on like I already see Jay that you wrote yeah. So so and we're going to be working this way with the DAOs, with the people, research and so on. So yep, I mean we can come back a little bit after, but we on the last show, if you're checking, we didn't finish our presentation, and we want to share it right now super fast where we stop. So we're building a ton. So this what you check, it's basically L3, what is running like independent network, what is in the end connected with our L2 whatever you call parachain, Gemton, whatever, and executed inside the Polkadot. But what we offer here and what you check it right now here, it's actually the order book what we created for one of the biggest ton DEX, and these ton DEX can now bridging the natively to the Polkadot through the bridge, and in this way the jeton, the coins, the tokens inside the ton ecosystem, it's called jeton, become the coin. So the users can swap from the tokens to the coins inside the Polkadot ecosystem and become additional staking, DeFi, and so on. And that's what we're offering. And this exactly order book was created because it become response. Hey guys, if you're a roll up on the ton, can you please helping us with that? Because basically today it's impossible to build the really competitive order book like the Hyperliquid or another protocol can do on Cosmos or whatever, because ton blockchain, it's still too early. It still need to more advanced technology stack and so on. So the later, so we can show the whatever it's going live soon, so you can check it. Let's come, Vladimir, can you please open the Wood? So maybe you can see that the Wood announced that we are preparing some drop. So right now in the ton ecosystem, because we are not in Polkadot a little bit in the vacuum from another blockchains, and what I need to tell you that it's ton blockchain, please can you open the Dune, become one of the biggest NFT marketplace. Basically it's a first NFT blockchain in the world right now. And when we're dropping this Wood collection, it's the NFT what is going to be listed on the top ton NFT marketplaces like the Get Gems, Ton, and so on. And it's going to be some utilities what is not accessible, like avatars. I mean, if you're real Woody, if you believe in Wood, why are you don't have your avatar in Telegram with the Wood? We're delivering this, and of course all people from the Polkadot can connect through the subwallet, through the Gemton, and bring this NFT from the Ton blockchain inside the Polkadot, and also from the Polkadot bring it to the Ton, and you can take it from Ton and basically come and sell it to another marketplace, different chains and so on. That's the huge potential, and you also can send it like a gifts. So the people for this NFT collection, for this sticker pack, we call it sticker pack, they don't need to have the wallet. You can just send it to anyone, and if he want to sell it, he can become the star. So basically, it's a new feature what does not exist right now. Nobody in Polkadot use it, but it's really the biggest gem today. Gesundheit. The biggest gem today in the Ton blockchain. It's a gift. It's huge amount of the transaction and so on. So yeah, let's go further. Let's go further. So we want to show how the cross chain exactly works, and of course you can read it. Yeah, at the ads graph. Sorry, Vladimir. Yeah, the Vladimir is showing right now that from our push, we're preparing the first Instagram campaign. We just right now become the moderation. And when it's going live, everyone from you who are using the Telegram gonna be see the link to the wood to the people from the ton can directly buy and increase, of course, volume and everything for the wood people. So it's going live, and we're gonna be spending $10,000 to this to just promote it, and we want to see like hundreds of thousands of new customers of wood, and then we can improve how it works. So it's going live today. If you open Telegram in a couple hours, for sure you're gonna be see some ads in your Telegram with the wood, what is I think really cool. So okay, let's go to the USDT transfer. So the USDT transfer, it's the biggest and main things what you can really see, that USDT directly, the native USDT from the ton, what is the official USDT, it's connected with the ton inside the Polkadot official USDT, what we're bridging to the asset hub in the Gemton. And what you can see here, it's like abstract account works. So what does it mean? You just connect your wallet from the one passphrase inside your Gemton account, and you can transfer the USDT from the Ton blockchain inside the Polkadot, and from the Polkadot inside the Ton. And you can create a huge amount of DeFi behind this. Basically, we give the access for all blockchains, for all parachains, access to the Ton and the DeFi in Ton, and bring the all DeFi from the Polkadot to the Ton users, and they don't need to get out from Ton, get out from the Telegram. They can use it inside Telegram, everything in Telegram mini app. This is online, this is on chain, and this is huge. Yeah. So yeah, you can see it, please, Vladimir. Can you finish it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this USDT was just transferred from the Ton to the Polkadot.
Shoot.
Yes.
That's
so
cool.
that's going to be for NFT, that's going to be for everything, and it's going to be huge DeFi potential. So the finalizing this, we just finishing the quick note accelerator, and we become the 50,000 grant incentivized from the quick note, what is also hosting the Polkadot, and they hosting, let's say, Peak Finance, if you know the Peak. They make the all infrastructure for them. And this meaning that we become the support from the QuickNote, one of the biggest infrastructure player inside the world today. And we're going to be hosting with them, and we're going to be making visible with this support from them the Gemton inside the QuickNote infrastructure. So it's like Peak Finance and another one.
All right.
So, and of course, we're going to be on the next week pitching on the biggest Ton pitch session with Animoca brands with another, and we're going to be push the Gemton like the best solution for Polkadot to the Ton and bring it to the masses. Thank you so much, Jake.
Good job. All right, sounds good. Sorry, Funky, I can't see the camera on this view, or the timer on this view, but thanks for the note there, guys. I'm a big fan of this, and it's so cool that you did the first milestone, even though you didn't get funded by the treasury. You built it anyway, and here you are with the second part. I wish you guys luck on this ref, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, we're going to throw it back now to Andre. Are you ready, sir? Boom. Here we are. Okay, 8 minutes on the clock.
Yes. Perfect. Let's
go.
go. So I want to talk today a little bit about tutorials and what they are, what kind of problem they solve, and how they benefit, how they create value, basically. So tutorials are interactive Git-powered tutorials. In our example, in VS Code, but it can be, in fact, any kind of editor. So the problem is with the current state of tutorials in general, what I experienced at PBA, and then I brought Sean and asked, what can I do? How can I help? And he came up with this idea of tutorials. The problem is that traditional tutorials force constant context switching between, for example, the browser, the IDE, and terminal. And I was during a few months ago, I was switching between .code School, my IDE, and the terminal. And there's no built-in code execution or live feedback. So it was hard to really develop a feeling for what, in my example, for example, substrate, how it really feels like, play around a little bit with it. I had to go back to my IDE to do that. And another very, very big issue is the difficulty to maintain such tutorials. So you might create a tutorial for Polkadot.js, but then Papi comes up, which uses another, they're breaking changes basically, and you need to keep these tutorial in sync. And it might be on some kind of third-party websites, and then on different ones as well. The solution is Gitorial. It's a specification, and I wrote now the VS Code extension for it, or at least a part of it, which consumes these Gitorials. They are Git-based, step-by-step tutorials where each commit carries some kind of data with it, and you can check it out and go step-by-step through the Gitorial. When we take a look, for example, at a screenshot from my IDE, we can see that there are templates, solutions, there's a README, there's an action one, and that's how they are structured. Another advantage is obviously that you have live in IDE experience. You can preview diffs, you can compile, run the code without leaving, in our example, VS Code. And there's a single source of truth. So everyone who has one Gitorial on the hosted wherever on their GitHub account, or for example, an open source repo, which has a Gitorial branch, and you can easily make PRs to it and implement changes, right? Everyone draws from this one single source of truth. If we take a look at how it currently looks like, here's a small recording I've created, so you can go steps back, steps forth, and show the solution. And so it's quite simple but effective, I would say. The roadmap right now is that I'm about to, or I finished it, the PR is already open, a .code School integration, where we capture the state and can transfer it either to .code School or to the extension, and the users can flawlessly switch between these two tools. And on the roadmap definitely is the IDE authoring, so to extend it with the ability to create these tutorials as well, because right now you have to use a CLI, which creates some kind of friction. It's not easy to edit these tutorials, but with the this extension, it should come easy. And specification and versioning. So Sean wrote a description, a README, how guitars look like, but it's not something, some kind of formal and still difficult to grasp. Yeah, and when this is done, we can iterate to another version, which might include testing, some hooks, some quizzes, which are rendered as well in VS Code. Hence, Docker multi-tutorial support, I think, is very important as well, because one open source project would have not only one tutorial, but multiple tutorials, and the user can just check out whatever they want to learn at this moment. Yeah, this is my ref 1583. You can check it out in Subsquare, and I'm open to questions.
Great stuff. Thanks very much. So this ref is going pretty well here. Does anybody have any questions for Andre? No? Looks pretty good. Nice contribution to the ecosystem. By the way, I checked out your YouTube channel, including your vlog on joining the PBA and cheating on your entrance exam. I thought that was very cool.
I don't think that part was cool, but it's the truth. So
no, telling the truth was cool. No, it was very cool. I'm looking forward to the next part of that series. You haven't released that yet, right?
It'll drop tomorrow.
Tomorrow, nice. I'm subscribed.
Yeah, the last part.
Cool, dude. All right, well, thanks. Let's look at this. This is gonna enter confirmation in just under 5 days right now. So congratulations on the success so far. But we'll see how people react to your presentation today. It's very nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to move on now to Ref 1585 avatar accounts, bringing the whole Web3 to Polkadot. We had this presentation before. Tushar, you are back for another 8 minutes on the clock. Why don't you take it away?
Sure. So, hi guys, this is Tushar again. The reason why I wanted to pitch in again today is just like I've been reading like lots of comments and questions that community have, and I understand those. So just want the primary where everything comes down is around comparison of after accounts with Epico, which I think is a genuine concern. But yeah, I would like to share some pointers on that. And then there was some confusion in the demo last time. So let's see probably if this time I could correct that. And happy to take your questions. So this is just for that. Sure. So yeah, first of all, let me clear on this that the cost breakdown that you saw is not fully like either it's not for next 6 months of development. We're not asking $211,000 for the next 6 months of development. Neither it is for um, the past development that we have already done. This cost has a detailed breakdown. Only 46,000 is retroactive. $22,400 that you see here, this amount and then the other maintenance amounts, these are we are spending to get traction, get Ethereum users built on the after account narrative. Since we allow now Ethereum wallets to be connected, this amount we are spending on giving out small bounties grants to developers who are Ethereum native, who bring 20,000 DAUs in weeks onto Ethereum apps to build on Polkadot, since I am actively connected to these developer communities in India. Now about the development side, so the different side. So the primary question was around, okay, what's the difference of Epico from this? I want to make one thing clear here is that my assessment from like Epico is based on the demo and like the general talks I got a chance to have with Gautam last year when we were mentoring a hackathon together. But yeah, the fundamental difference here is that Apico's approach is what I feel a little bit is making Polkadot appear similar to Ethereum by fitting into MetaMask APIs, by showing on to the users, and also like the problem with particularly fitting into MetaMask APIs, we also have a POC of that, but is that when you try to fit into those APIs, Polkadot natively is very different. So for example, we have balances palette that has that has frozen and reserved tokens. Then there is SS palette, which is not ERC20. So there's so many differences that fundamentally make it confusing at the end of the user when they're transitioning from a MetaMask to a real Polkadot native wallet. What we are doing here is that we are not mixing Ethereum wallets with Substrate wallets. Rather, we are giving users Substrate wallets on-chain Substrate avatar accounts, right? So it's basically an avatar, a reincarnation of the account itself on the native chain, which is just being managed from an EVM wallet. This could be EVM. This is EVM right now, but this could be a Solana wallet. This could be some other ecosystem wallet. As we stated earlier, our goal is that if you arrive on a Polkadot app with any wallet, your integration, your experience should be smooth. A few more differences, as I said, that's first, it is like we are giving a keyless Substrate account that then trying to fit in with EVM H160. Then what we are also trying to do here, we have created templates for the popular distribution channels. We are trying to onboard the users from it. This is an active proposition to do that. Primarily, other way of looking at that is that what we are trying to do is we are trying to increase the demand as compared to increasing the supply. What I mean by this is that we are trying to take the steps from where the users are, like these Farcaster and these other social platforms, and also the Ethereum space. We are tapping into that and then getting these developers and users to try on build on after accounts with all these parachains, rather than trying to have this like an open source tool that is put out on GitHub and then nobody uses it. When I say this, we are also, as I said, we are launching we are launching after account for system parachain via XCM. So even if you don't want to add a palette, you could just enable this on-demand service and have an XCM channel open. So we are making sure that this gets used, and this is part of a roadmap rather than a simple code deployment. Other than that, yeah, let me just give you a quick look again at the demo. This is live right now. You could give it a try. This is based on our one past version, but yeah, this is live. So you could go to the qvote.vercel.app, connect your MetaMask wallet, if you can see the screen. So I connect my MetaMask wallet here. And then, yeah, you see exact wallet address that is on-chain created. and my balance, and I can use this to transfer this balance right now. I can do any other type of any custom pallet call as well. So let's try to do it again. Just hit transfer. All I have to do is just simply sign the transaction. And with this, the transaction automatically goes through the app, particularly in this case, relays this transaction. So it's not necessary to add an RPC, but we do have the RPC support. So here you see this balance has been automatically updated actually from 2.97 to match it. So we are also having this approach as well to fit into MetaMask, but our goal is not primarily that. It is that, okay, you come to this app, for example, Podcaster, you are already social profile, the same app automatically loads your profiles, shows you the balance, and then you can interact right inside the apps. Wherever you hit the Polkadot app, you should be able to use it. Again, the other questions was around, okay, Pallet Revive is a competitor or not? Is there any other Frontier is a competitor or not? No, they are not. They involves a lot of extra work, adding smart contracts capability to your chains, which most chains did not want to add, since it's increased the chances of state load, and also then you have to do asset mappings, and if they go here and there, then you have seen referendums around Moonbeam as well posting that, okay, there was XCM fault happened because they're trying to do with this asset mapping. So these are not competitive. What is potentially an alternative that could be here is one which is being built by Parity right now. So that is like a multi-signer that allows you to use Ethereum wallets here. But again, with After account, we are not sticking it to Ethereum. This is like more easier approach to add to substrate chains than really making this upgrade. Secondly, this is right now Ethereum, but as I said, this could be any wallet. Just build an app on Polkadot and you are able to use it. Why this is again important is that you may think that developers come from extra funding, getting more grants, and all that. Some may do, but they stick around for users. If your chain, if your ecosystem, if your technology cannot provide users, they are not going to stick around. Lastly, why we are not having like a lot of parachains commenting on this? We have not initiated particularly in this. There's few we are talking to, but for example, particularly Mythos in this example, most of the users are in-game users. They play the game and they go away. So the wallet management is being done by the in-app itself. So they don't know whether it's Substrate wallet, EVM wallet. They're not using MetaMask or Substrate wallets directly in the Mythos ecosystem. So that's why probably most parachains have not bought similar solutions by their own money, because if it is, let's say, a 200K solution, why someone would not buy it for 60K if it could really add that immense value for a team like Mythos? So I feel this has to be an open source, like a utility palette. Why would a team not add elastic scaling to them? Why would a team not add a utility palette to them? So that demand will come when other teams see that a few parachains have added it and they're getting more users. Every parachain wants users. That's it.
And that's time. Thank you very much, Tushar. That's very compelling. Okay, well, from there, we're going to move right on now to Ref 1580 with Gautam. This is Epico. And what do we have left here, Gautam? We have a week left and currently sitting at 47.3%, right on the edge here, actually. So, Gautam, we've missed you for a few weeks, but welcome back. We're going to start the timer and want you to tell us whatever you want to share, and maybe a little bit about what we just heard as well.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you so much, Jay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Awesome. And great presentation, Tushar. All right, let's jump right into it. This time I'm going to present some FAQs. I'm not going into the the overall presentation that I did before. What is the, USP and stuff. More or less, let's just dive into what some of the burning questions people have been asking. First of all, the budget, elephant in the room. We have provided a detailed breakdown of our budget in the proposal now, thanks to the Polka World team and their feedback. Some of the reasons why our budget is what it is right now is, first of all, we did not just, jumped into writing this down, started coding. We went into researching on Ethereum RPCs, the frontier, how the gas works in that, and the transaction receipts that are available as part of every Ethereum node, and created a way of how we can implement that in the substrate land. So it required a lot of initial research on how all of this thing works. Secondly, if we look at the development time of Pallet Revive, we are in a pretty comparable zone over there. We are not, like asking for too much of, like development time and the budget based on that, or too less. It's kind of comparable. Now, what else it includes? All of this stuff that I have on my slide, our budget includes that. Primarily documentation, integration guides, a demo, full technical support for anyone who is integrating on the chain side, maintenance and upgrades for the next 6 months and for the rest of this year, basically, and potential contributions to Polkadot SDK. So we are also in touch with the Parity team, understanding how we can contribute it to the SDK directly. So all of that has been included in our budget. It's not just development. So I hope I'm addressing the budget question here. The second one is comparison with Palette Revive. So this was asked quite a few times. Yesterday also, the Jam implementers DAO commented on our proposal that Palette Revive will make our solution, like not useful. Let's just address that here as well. When you look at Palette Revive, what it requires is you have to add the Revive palette along with PVM. And if you want to access any palettes in that model through the Ethereum accounts, you have to go through PVM or the precompiles. So that is additional workload on a chain development side. When you have to add palette revive, you have to create precompiles for every palette that you want to call. Epico does not require that. You just add Epico, add the configuration, and call all the palettes directly. So this reduces a lot of development time on the parachain side, basically. So palette revive is for chains with smart contracts like the hub upcoming, and Epico is for chains without smart contracts like Mythos and Frequency. That should make it absolutely clear why Epico is not a competitor or an alternative to Palette Revive. It's just a standalone solution which is built for a completely different use case. We have a very detailed blog post about it. I'll post a link later. Now, comparison with avatar accounts, basically. Let's address this as well. It uses a proxy approach where an Ethereum account will control a substrate account, a keyless substrate account. Now, the question comes is, what is the user going to look on the exchanges? What is the user going to look on block explorers? How is the XCM and bridging going to work? A parachain will not integrate a solution if it does not work with the surrounding tooling. A parachain is a village in itself. It works with exchanges, it works with wallet, it works with block explorers, and a bunch of those things that have to integrate. If it implies or implements a solution or integrates a solution that does not work with those surrounding things, it will not be integrated. If I'm a user sending a transaction and it shows an Ethereum account, what am I going to search on the block explorer? And how should I map that? Should Subscan upgrade all of its code to make this work or not? These are some open questions that have to be answered, basically. Epico does not have any of those limitations. What we are doing is a straightforward native RPC approach. Any chain that integrates Epico works with all block explorers, work with all exchanges, and XCM and bridging, everything works directly. Now, there are some things that Tushar raised in his presentation. I wasn't going to change it, address them directly here. It mentioned that there is a centralized RPC. No, there is nothing centralized here. An RPC is a part of the node. And anything that is a part of the node goes into every node, basically. There is no central server running and routing all the calls. So that is clear misinformation. It should not be done that way. Secondly, abstracting the complexity. We are not basically making Polkadot look like Ethereum. It's more the philosophy comes from the fact that a user, first we go to the user who is a Web2 user and say, oh, let's try Web3. Now you have to try Web3 in this way because MetaMask is the primary way of doing that. Now we go to the user and say, oh, now you have to do it in this way, which is Polkadot way. And the user just sees all these barriers. We want to abstract that complexity and say, whatever you are doing, try our solution with that approach. So abstracting the complexity is one thing to streamline the user instead of saying that we are making Polkadot look like Ethereum. That would be my way of saying it. Now, the other thing is there was a mention of palettes have to be changed. No existing palette in a chain's runtime has to be touched in integrating Epico. Nothing has to be changed on the chain side. You just integrate the Epico crate, add configuration, that's it, you are done. So there are no changes there. Now, the question, another thing is when a user uses Epico, they can see their balance directly in the wallet. They can call transactions directly from MetaMask by adding this as a custom network in MetaMask. You don't have to go through a dApp or something like that. So that's basically another USP that we have here. Now, user has full access to the account on the chain. In other case, the account on the chain and the account in the dApp are two different accounts in case of Avatar accounts. The second thing is Epico is already built, ready to use. We have already, like presented a demo, which is a production ready demo right now. We are not looking for future development or funding, basically. The next part is in one of the DAO groups, I saw a comparison of costs. Well, we are a German-based company and we have to pay VATs. If we exclude that for a second, we are actually having a lower price. And this includes technical support and a lot more than just development. So I hope now I'm able to, address all the differences here. Next is the Ethereum account limitation. So a lot of places what I saw is like, okay, Epico has a limitation that we can only use Ethereum accounts. This was just mentioned in the previous presentation as well. So if this gets merged, by the way, in this particular pull request, Blockdeep team is actively participating, and we have suggested a particular hashing algorithm to be used so that it can be useful for many use cases. Now, if this gets merged, Epico will not have this limitation anymore. A substrate account can be represented as an Ethereum account directly, and then it can be accessed for any parachain. So even if a parachain is using substrate account, they add Epico, and if this gets merged, this limitation is not there anymore. So all parachains are now can be compatible with Epico with or without EVM accounts. Now, there is one more point that I want to cover very quickly in the last 10 seconds is there is no impact on the existing Polkadot wallets. This also came up in one of the DAO groups that what happens to existing wallets? No, we are not competing with the existing wallets here. There is no impact on them. We are only creating an additional way of doing things. So if the user wants to use Nova, Talisman, or sub-wallet with the chain that has Epico, they can use it. But if they want to use MetaMask, they can also do that. So this is an add-on instead of a replacement. The second point I want to make here is Polkadot wallets have a lot of advanced features like staking, teleport, XCM, and a bunch of other things. MetaMask does not have that. So our solution is for the user to get initial onboarding. As soon as they become familiar with Polkadot stuff, they can do a lot more stuff with the native wallets. So it's more of an on-ramp instead of doing other things. I think that's time. And those were some of the things that I wanted to cover in the frequently asked questions for Epico. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Got him. That just throws me way back to listening to Block Shots, just listening to you to go into the technical details there. And we have a quick comment from Angie.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight because I put it on the forum, but it's important to note that mythical and frequency coming together is one of the core pillars of the dot play strategy. And the reason for that is because frequency needs the game onboarding and mythical needs the social media onboarding. And so I just wanted to say that. And also, Gautam, I know that I'm going to embarrass you, but like of all the developers, I would want to make a bet on you after seeing the way you transition mythical without even a ripple in the network that day. So anyway, you've earned a lot of street cred with us.
Thank you so much, Angie.
All right, and a massive alpha leak there as well. Thank you, Angie, and thank you, Gautam. I think it's really up to the DVs to listen to the last 16 or so minutes that we just heard and make a solid decision for the ecosystem here. Tushar, you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, sure. So great presentation again. Just wanted to highlight this, that about the side utilities that a chain want. So primarily, it's not a new thing that we are doing. It's basically smart abstract accounts, right? Like if ERC 4337, one account is managed by another account. So that is anyways doable. Secondly, can you do XCM calls and all that? So for sure you can do that. And the users is not going to face any problems migrating because our mission and our pitch has always been that, okay, you first try any Polkadot app with whatever wallet you come up with, and then we prompt you and through the UI, through other interfaces that you can migrate to a full native substrate wallet. So less impacting on that. Lastly, we also showed the MetaMask RPC capabilities to go alongside with this, showing your balances. You can do transactions and gas as well. So yeah, these things are already in place. So thank you.
All right, we'll leave it to the voters from here. Thank you both for coming on today. We're going to carry on. Do we have Charu back with us? I think she's still speaking with Permanence DAO. In that case, we're going to take a look at the Snowbridge proposal. I didn't have this on the agenda initially, but I see Alistair and Clara here. So why don't we dive into this one? This is the big spender, 1587, with this, yeah, with, well, a lot of assets, let's say. And currently we're sitting at 20% support with just under halfway into the decision period. Throw that on the screen here. We'll start the timer and wait, hold on real quick. Funky, did you say you have to go?
Yeah, at 1 o'clock. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay,
I have
man.
a meeting and a hard stop. Sorry, Jay.
I'm gonna start a timer here myself then,
Okay.
so we can make sure they have the full 8. Folks, welcome back to the show. What do you want to tell us this week?
We didn't know it's not on the agenda, which means maybe we shouldn't be here then.
No, it's okay.
But
Maybe it's my bad.
I think we are busy looking at the proposal and taking some of the community feedback. And we're working on a response that I think we'll probably put up next week. So we just want to thank everyone for giving their feedback. We're working on it.
Okay. Great. Thanks. Thanks. Sorry to put you on the spot there then. Okay, we'll see you, Funky. Have a nice day. Any particular
Alistair,
Yeah, go ahead.
Alistair, you want to add something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like we could just maybe take a few minutes, maybe take some questions, maybe talk a bit about the product a bit. Yeah, so we're at this like very cool space right now. Within the next few months, we'll have Snowbridge V2. And these are going to enable like a lot of cool flows in the bridge. For instance, maybe a user wants to bridge some USDT from Ethereum and transfer it to Hydration, swap it for native USDT and then or USDC, and then bridge it to another parachain. So we have this like really cool spot because XEM V5 is going out soon. Snowbridge V2 is going out soon. We're going to have contracts or EVM on Asset Hub. So I think the confluence of all of these, we're going to be able to build some really cool features with Snowbridge. So yeah, if there's any questions around there, we'd be happy to take some.
Do we have any questions or comments right now? Is there any feedback or criticism that you maybe you've already responded to, but you'd like to use this platform to make a response?
Yeah, so last week, I believe, well, the major criticism we've gotten is transparency around costs. I think our CEO, Aiden, kind of addressed that last week around why those amounts are there. But the main feedback we've been getting from the community in like the last week or so was that like our roadmap is too technical. And it doesn't really say, we're like talking about tech, not talking about what are we going to bring to the ecosystem. And yeah, that's something that now we want to add like a supplementary doc to the ref to make sure that we can clearly talk about the TVL that we want to bring into the bridge, some of the features we want to write, partnerships with maybe liquidity providers so that we can bring in more TVL into Polkadot, etc. Which are all things that we kind of mentioned in our proposal, but I don't think anyone's really like going through that long document. So it would be nice to summarize it, short and sweet. This is what we're going to bring to the table.
Very good. All right. So just improving comms around the whole thing and really addressing the voting audience, the people who are actually going to be voting. Probably those people are going to understand this deep tech. Not a lot of those are, not a lot of the people voting will be doing that. That's good. That's a good lesson. Cool. Anything else you want to say?
No,
cool.
That's us.
Thank you for coming on and taking a few moments there. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Charu, still not here. Wow. Permanence DAO is really giving her a hard time, I guess. So that means that we're going to move on to who wants to be a Polkadot ambassador? Wow, wow, wow. It's been a few months since I got to say that. And we are back with we're in transition from version 3 to version 4 of the ambassador program, I think. And what we saw, no, I don't know, Lucy, how are you
No, it's the Ambassador Fellowship. It's
Yes.
a very different program,
Oh,
and
sorry.
we're in phase 2 of
Fellowship.
so we had the Genesis cycle,
Absolutely.
the writing of the manifesto,
Yes.
the seeding, the PIFs, the framework building. Now we're in the Ascent cycle, which is where we start to test these frameworks and make sure that we're strong enough and resilient enough before we go into the Constellation cycle, which is when the fellowship will be just fully flourished and standing on its own, but it's all part of the fellowship.
And I will have that down next week. Thank you very much. So what's happened? Well, we've had a load of tip requests put through the treasury. So we have one for Limo for 200 USDC, one for Arash for 900 USDC. Jed gets one for 7,000. Adam gets one for 2,400. Josiah, who we had on the show, but obviously had to go to bed, I think, 4,000.
He's still here.
Oh, he's here. Oh my God. Josiah's
Hanging
still here.
on.
And then Michelle gets 487 and a half USDC. And Luke gets 1,100 and change. You also had one for yourself to cover all your costs, but you've actually withdrawn this for now.
Yeah.
How do you want to approach this today?
So I'd like to take a few minutes to explain why we put these tips in, because there's a couple of concerning things happening. And I think, obviously, I've talked about this till I blue in the face. There's lots of things that have happened. And I just want to kind of say, this is the situation. This is why I have put these in. And this is why it's really important that people look at them in a certain way and make a judgment for those reasons. So, and then we have Josiah and Adam here who are going to just explain a little bit about what they did, because obviously it's their work that they're representing. And just so the reason I removed mine is because there was some feedback which I thought was actually spot on. I knew I was putting all these different proposals in. There's the ambassador thing. I thought, I don't want to flood it with any more. So I put all of my kind of expenses over the last few months that have been to do with BD deals that have been in the name of the fellowship, and one of them's on Kusama now, and then this. So it was just too complex. So I thought, take it down. I want my team to get paid, more importantly, and the BD stuff and that should be separate. So there will be more on that, but for now it's focused on the team. So yeah, what I want to say, and I have written it down so that I don't waffle. There is a social contract with ambassadors and everyone within Polkadot, an understanding that efforts will be acknowledged and fairly reviewed. And I feel that this contract has been broken in this case. So when we launched the Ambassador Fellowship, there were 2 people leading the initiative, myself and Don Diego. Unfortunately, on the 20th of March, after many weeks of uncertainty, the board made the decision to remove my counterpart and assign me as the sole lead. My task was to deliver on the KPIs agreed in January by myself, Don Diego, the board, by the 3rd of May. At that point, I could have declined and walked away. Instead, I chose to fight for everything that everybody has spent a lot of time and money, and the whole community has on working so hard to build. The board offered me a single support option, one individual. However, this person made their involvement conditional on being promoted. When I saw alternatives, the board remained silent for over a week. And to be clear, it was the board's decision that said person was to work with me, not that I was to lead the charge. When I saw alternatives, the board remained silent for over a week. In response, I proposed a practical solution, assembling a volunteer team that would only be compensated if we successfully delivered, and we did. The final report was acknowledged as successfully delivered via Telegram message, very happy to share it. That was my first contact with the board since early April. No one on this team expected bonuses. What they did expect, and what I respect, and you guys should expect, is a fair review, and that never happened. Instead, the team was rug pulled. A decision had already been made without review, without discussion. The board abdicated its responsibility. This was not a bad judgment call. It was a refusal to engage. Compounding this, several members of the board resigned throughout March. The remaining members failed to either inform those actively working on the project, myself included, or the wider community. The information was deliberately withheld, an act that speaks volumes. Worse, just 5 days ago, a board member asked me if they could resign, apparently unaware the board had effectively ceased to exist on the 4th of May. Our work was conducted transparently in full public view. I hosted weekly sprint updates with multiple people on, include all ambassadors, including the White Rabbit, who unfortunately has just resigned. So the board's actions were conducted entirely behind closed doors. In summary, the board's directive was that I and one other full-time contributor would deliver the KPIs between the 20th of March and the 3rd of May. The allocated salary for that work, based on a 40-hour work week for me and this person, totaled $35,840. That's $20,480 to me for $80 an hour at 160 hours, and $60 an hour, 160 hours, 15,360. That's for 6 weeks and 2 working days. This was not performance-based compensation. It wasn't if we think you've done a successful job. It was just the salary for completion of the defined work. From the 30th of March to the 29th of April, there was only one-way communication from me to, sorry, I've done that. Okay, what followed after all of this is messy and complicated, and he said, she said, all the facts are out there. But what is certain is that the board earmarked $35,840 for the work completed between the 20th of March and the 3rd of May. If we are to respect the board's authority as we voted them in, and we continue to respect what they say, which we should do, then I propose the funds be transferred to a multi-sig wallet, including the contributors, for them to be fairly distributed amongst the team. An additional note, the board just didn't return unused bonus funds. They also returned money explicitly allocated for tooling. As a result, both I and other ambassadors were forced to cover these costs personally. My second point, separate to this, is now I am here, obviously, presenting these tips for the team on at OpenGov, requesting pretty nominal compensation for work that was promised and backed by the community and delivered, but has also not been assessed. One DV group has consistently voted against all tip proposals. It consists of just 6 members, including a former Opcom ambassador who left after not receiving a promotion. Despite ceasing work in February, this individual asked for full-time pay in March. He now votes against compensating active contributors. He wanted to be paid after leaving, but opposed paying those still delivering results. And that is all I want to say on this. And I want to open the floor. That is the background for why I have done what I have done, the background for why these tips should be paid. And I just urge everybody to look at the work been done and what actually has happened and the timeline of events, and not punish people for things that are not in their control.
Okay. Would anybody on the panel like to respond to what was just said, or ask any questions, or leave any comments? Then the record. Oh, Angie. Oh, you're muted there, Angie. There you go.
Sorry for the noise in the background. I'm in New York City. Anyway, can you discuss maybe what the board agreed to? Because that is a key piece that I wasn't aware of.
Yes. So on the 20th of March, when I was in Miami, I was called by the board to tell me that they had decided that they would remove my counterparty and that I would lead, and that I was to let go of the rest of the Opcom team. This is actually another good point. I was asked to let go of the other Opcom team, and I was given one resource, and that resource did not want to work. I don't know the word beneath me, but he unless he was kind of an equal in terms of leading the charge, they did not want to be a part of it. So the agreement, the board's proposal to me, and the last thing that I heard from them before I assembled this volunteer team, was that myself and this other person would work full time until either the 14th of, well, ideally till the 14th of April, but until the 3rd of May to deliver, are the exact words. So that was the scope. And I have to say that although I had to remove the rest of my team because of this, they all still stayed and worked. Every single one of the people that is on that tip request, apart from Josiah, who came in to do specifically the PIF reporting when we knew where we stood. He came and did that as a volunteer. Everybody else was already on the team. They were already working, and they had not stopped.
All right. We are at time there, Lucy.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to give the floor now. We actually have 3 of the tippies on the panel. So we're going to start with Josiah, who's looking a little opal-eyed. He's got a chance here to talk about his tip request here. This one is for, 4,000 USDC. Josiah, did you want to take a moment and tell us about
about
this
tell
one?
you a brief moment. So like I
pretty much assessed all of the deliverables by all the PIF applicants. I made myself available for meetings. I hosted meetings with quite a few of them in regards to the deliverables, how they were tracking. I created a story doc, which is a nice interactive one-pager for each independent team based on their KPIs, based on what they achieved, based off a rundown of what they were doing. Originally, Lucy told me a max cap of 80 hours. I spent well over 100 hours on this to deliver this in time. And knowing that there's a max cap of 80. However, I was happy to do that because it was a good initiative, I felt. I still do. But it was under the impression that this was an hourly rate and a job. So it's quite a considerable hours that went into this to get this over the line, which we successfully did. I think that, if you work for Polkadot, you should be paid. And I think that, there's still a lot to come from this whole initiative, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of hard work, and that should be recognized.
So were you reviewing the work that was done by people who were already paid out on the PIF? Is that kind of what you were reporting basically?
So I was assess the deliverables and put forward what we will bring into the community as for what that looked like. It was spreadsheets, managing deliverables, milestones, etc.
Okay, let's hear from Angie real quick, please.
Oh, sorry, I didn't have my hand up.
Oh, okay. Well, nice to hear from you anyway.
Sorry,
We'll go to Lucy.
Sorry, I'll put it down. Sorry.
Go ahead, Lucy.
I just wanted to make clear that the reason that Josiah came in and that the PIFs did not do all of their own reporting, and we have Lorena on here as well. I'm sure she can speak to it, but because of the slight turmoil during February and March, we'd split the PIFs in terms of mentoring, and some of the PIFs did not receive any mentoring, and the systems that were supposed to be in place for the reporting were unfortunately not delivered. So they had that was something that the OPCOM was supposed to give them, was a framework. And although a finance kind of a receipt thing was set up in Notion, a kind of you could do financial reports, that was only done, there were no reports pulled, and the communication was very poor. So I know there's questions about why did Josiah have to come in and do this? Well, that it was a service that we were supposed to provide. You could say, yes, we paid for, but it was not the fault of the PIFs or Josiah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got him, please.
Thank you. Josiah, first of all, kudos for doing that. And I wanted to ask in general, like, how can I contribute towards evaluating something from the technical perspective? I have been thinking of, like getting more involved in some of the, like technical evaluations on proposals, but just throwing in the hat here, like where to get started.
So probably Lucy's probably best directed at that. But do you mean to become a PIF or to work on assessing the PIF's applications or the deliverables they're giving?
Deliverables mostly on that side.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to answer that?
So, Gautam, do you mean for just proposal in general, or do you mean the Fragment Initiative Fund proposals, or?
No, let me put it this way. So, first of all, apologies if I'm not too aware of the terminology here.
No.
I just want to say that there is a lot of good work happening in the ecosystem. A lot of that work is very good and technical as well. And I would just love to check it out, post my comments, thoughts, share some feedback, and help out. That's it. Now, whatever you want to call it, whichever like initiative that is, or I'm happy to just contribute.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think obviously just Poke Assembly or sub Square to check out the proposals. These tip proposals are not technical, but I would say you review them in the same way. I don't know. This is probably somebody else who also reviews. It shouldn't just be my voice about how you should review proposals. Things we're talking about mine.
Yeah, I think like this sort of stuff. It's proposals. It happens internally, and then. But I guess when we go all fully on chain, they'll be available for people to just jump on and contribute in that way. But at the moment, we're still developing that infrastructure.
Okay.
Now we have just 2 minutes left here, but I'm very interested to hear from Spectra.
Yeah, so very quickly, because I don't think it's either the time or the place to talk about it, but I couldn't let two things go. One is obviously the whole situation is way more complicated, as Lucy makes it out, and we are working on a statement regarding this because this has gone too far. That's one thing. The other thing is that I did not, obviously I'm the one individual.
You're the resource
I did not want a promotion.
mentioned.
Sorry?
You're the resource.
Yeah, the resource or the individual, yeah. I did not want a promotion. I wanted to work at the same level as Lucy. Now, what I did not want to be is an employee, as Lucy put it, or a hire in a Web3 environment. So that's the other one. And basically the third one regarding these tips, Lucy said, I think on the 17th of April, on one of the ambassador updates on X and YouTube, that all the ambassadors are volunteers from now on. Basically, that's when the board that basically was assembled by Lucy withdraw support. And basically, the board not only said it, but did it by sending all the funds back to the treasury, and then the obviously made a statement on the forum, to which Lucy, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, said on this AAG that the board is going to kind of make things clearer or rectify that statement, and that didn't happen. So as far as we're concerned, that statement stays. The board did not think that it was a good job, so that wasn't a bonus.
All right, a recharacterization of many things there. Lucy, you want to respond, please?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I only work in fact, so I'm not sure when I used the word employee, but please tell me if I've forgotten. So everything that happened
in London when we met.
Okay, so it's your word versus mine, and we met in December. Okay. I would like to point out that everything you've just said is not actually, everything I've said is on record, but I'd also more clearly like to point out the fact that you don't think there's a conflict of interest here with you being able to vote as a DV when you are clearly preparing to write a statement which is trashing everything I've said and everything I work for, and you don't think there's a conflict of interest?
No, there isn't. It has been confirmed by the WC Foundation in cohort 4 element chat.
From that. Okay, so let's put a pin in that back and forth there, and we're going to move on to
I think Adam and Arash wanted to talk about that
as
well.
We're going to send it to Adam first. Mr. Galloway.
Hey everyone.
Who wants to
Hope everyone's having
an ambassador? 2,400 for you, sir. Yeah, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate the time. I just wanted to give a quick background of how I got involved with the ambassador program. I joined just to gain experience in Web3, and more importantly, to support the Polkadot ecosystem that I truly believe in, the technology and community of. Lucy invited me to help her do video recaps in Miami, and I actually forfeited 2 weeks of a paid Airbnb to go do that project, which was entirely volunteer. Following that set of work, Lucy invited me to also help out with doing social media. So setting up the YouTube account, setting up the working on the Twitter X account, and also developing the planning for social media, as well as reporting. So all of the reporting for the final reports for the first phase and all of that, I wrote all those reports for the social media side, or contributed most of the work to those. I got the YouTube and Restream set up. So I set everything up and I was streaming those restreams from my computer with Arash. Sometimes Arash would do it, sometimes I would do it. Anyway, so this set of hours that I'm requesting it would be nice to receive the actual payout for that. And I would just really appreciate it, your support, everyone's support on that. I hope to continue working on the marketing side for the Polkadot Ambassador program. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much, Adam. You are doing a great job, and your commitment to the ecosystem is never in question. Absolutely. I'm loving working with you as well on the projects that we've been working on. You're a great person to work with. It's an unfortunate situation that we're seeing here is basically kind of many layers of well, we're trying to manage expectations of the past, promises made, expectations, people in control, bailing. There's lots of layers here. It's kind of unfortunate, but thank you for your testament, Adam.
Yeah, I also just want to say, shout out to Lucy. I've never seen anyone work so hard on something and deserve it more than Lucy.
100%.
So if I'm actually so inspired by her, and I really hope that you guys support her in what she does. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. All right, we'll now throw it over to Arash. 900 USDC. This one is sitting at 50%, right on the line. You have a DV4 and a DV again so far. Arash?
Hi.
Hey, welcome to the
good
show.
mate,
Welcome to the show, dude.
Yeah, it's been my first one, I guess, but
I
we know
know.
each other for a while, haven't we?
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of you know me. It's a pleasure to be here. A bit of background about me. I've been in crypto, Polkadot crypto since 2021, when I got fascinated with it and started producing lots of content out of my passion. And all of that was just out of my own will, and wasn't really out of any request for any money, or it was all for free. So and I still do that, a bit less so this after I joined Lucy on the DV, because I thought I do a bit of work that is a bit more impactful in the Polkadot community. So that's why when Lucy requested some help, then I volunteered. I think it was probably November, December last year. My work kind of started with shaping social media, starting from the beginning, putting a plan for the whole social media. Started with putting together the X account, producing all the contents. From from January to April, when Adam joined us, I was in charge of all the X and all the milestones, which we started with the account and tweets and content to now where we are with the streaming and YouTube account, and soon to be expanding to Instagram and further social media. So pretty happy where we are, and would be great if it's compensated, that would be greatly appreciated. My work is limited. As you see, the tip is not really high, and this is as much time as I've got. I've got a day job, so any free time I get, I try to contribute to my work. Yeah, and that's the scope.
Thank you, Arash. See, it's stories like this that make me really want a fellowship situation to succeed. Been quite a hard road, though. Lucy, there is another I'm sorry, I don't want to call it the wrong thing, but I'll throw out Ascent, Galaxy, Interstellar phase. What's the next?
It's the Ascent phase. So
Ascent.
it's all the fellowship. These aren't new reiterations.
Yeah, I get it.
We still have all of our ambassadors, many of whom are very active. We've actually got an active poll going on at the moment as to who's supportive of the ref we're about to put in. So yeah, I would like to be clear that this ref has been worked on since 23rd of April when we had our weekly community time, and it's the same doc. So it's had input from, it's been open source. Since then, we've done lots of live calls, lots of groups, and there's a group which you're also a part of, Jay, of like 35 of us in a TG group, just me pulling in anybody that can kind of help AAG. That's why you're in it, so that we can get slots, and we're turning it into a video thanks to Michael's great team. And I've actually hired somebody out of my own pocket to turn all my words into something that's digestible because I had too much going on. I'm really, really pleased with it. This phase is about, I think people, we will be on chain. Actually, we'll find out when the next runtime upgrade is in the next couple of days, but we are in there. The work has all been approved, so hopefully it'll be mid-July. And this phase is all about making sure that framework is really solid, because like it's bad enough just here, like me and Spectre back and forth arguing. Like, imagine if you just put everyone on chain, and you won't be able to get. You have to have a safe environment for everybody, and but what we've done is the funding is broken up into 3 lots of 3 months, and the first 3 months will have a multi-sig, and it will have kind of but very specific things going to specific places. So it's actually only sort of 14% going to an operational core, which will then go down to 12%, and then down to, I think, 7% by the end. So, and the more that goes down, the more the money opens up for the community to control. So down to about 1 full-time person by January. We have an advisory core who is going to be much more there to kind of help guidance and strategy, and Charu's on that, and Ingo and Joe and Nick, Aaron, and Casper, and we've got Lou and James Slusher on the multi-sig, and then we've got our global cores. So we're transitioning into a model where we'll start to see these global cores. Lorena from LATAM is one of them, so it'll be the 6 continents will have their own budget, and they will start to tell us what they need on the ground. They'll take these frameworks that we built, like orientation, rewards and recognition, mentoring, and they will take them and they'll make them their own. And then from there, we'll see sub-cores spin out. So we've got one, Brazil. So John and Lorena basically, well, they already work together. Lorena will have a budget, John will have a budget, they will work together. Then we're inserting these vertical cores. So we've got the BD Plaza, so where we have all of the BD information there. It's a manned desk. James and Strind will be working on it and training up some young BD hopefuls. And we have a BD like 101 course that we're launching. We will be building a CRM in the latter part of the year. And we are doing ticketing through Zendesk before we build our own. So it'll be a place where anyone can go with any leads, any questions, whatever it is. And that's specialist vertical. And so those are intertwined. So those specialist verticals will have relationships with the global cores. And then Michael is going to lead a team that's working with ranked champions to weave this mentoring framework through, so that you have a handheld everywhere that you go. And then we have the Notion and the website, because there's talk of an open source website that the community all is for it, and Jed is running that until somebody else will take over, because he's wanting someone to take over. And then we have Arash and Adam being joined by Oliver Brett, who's just left Parity and was heading up all their socials for a couple of years. And so we got a really solid social media output as well, because we want to start showing the world what we're doing, so that when we're ready, we'll have loads of people wanting to come in.
All right, well, we'll look out for the Ascent phase, and we'll know about these tips next week. Thanks everybody for coming on. Charu, now we were quite worried that Permanence DAO perhaps was giving you a really awful time, but I'm glad to see you back here. And
No.
I know it's very late there at this point, must be.
Yeah, it's okay. Not as late as it is for Josiah and other people from Australia. But thanks for a quick moment. Just wanted to show up here and say thanks. Probably the proposal is going to be rejected very soon, maybe in a couple of hours. But we have received some good feedback. For me, today's call, it was very interesting to see that most of the proposals that I saw, they were all NFTs. So I mean, Mubert has NFTs in the background. There were other proposals using NFTs. So I think as opposed to the community sentiment around NFTs are dead, they're not. So there is a lot happening in the Polkadot ecosystem. So, but at the same time, we gathered some feedback, good feedback from the community. We do not know what our comeback strategy will be. There is a bigger piece of BD initiative that we are driving for leads. We'll continue to do that, but we need to find a stronger way to support projects that are in waiting. All the bigger projects that are supported by the Web3 Foundation, especially around their focus on entertainment, all that is wonderful for the ecosystem. We just need to have a way to drive momentum around smaller projects that can potentially scale to that level in the future. So we are looking for various mechanisms, and if I have an update, I will drop by and share. There are some projects we really want to support. And then in addition to that, I guess if we come back, but even if we don't, we are very happy to receive feedback. We've been doing some one-on-one calls with the DVs to share our overall strategy, because I guess the overall strategy was not a part of the proposal. It's happy to share that. The NFT Mosaic's overall strategy and NFT strategy, happy to share that one-on-one, whoever is interested. But we will continue to drive support for projects, and we think that there is a lot more that's coming into Polkadot for NFTs. So I'll just close at that. Any other questions, comments, feel free to reach out. And that is it. And thanks to AAG for the support at this time.
Always a pleasure to host you, and looking forward to seeing the next phase of this initiative. And thanks for being such a good sport as well. It's always refreshing to see this.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
All right, good stuff. Now, that's all we have for presentations today. I mean, we're only 2 hours into the show, so but I guess that's it for presentations now. There are a few refs on the go that we were speaking about recently, just a few, and we're going to check in on them right now. First is the Gossamer project, the core contributions to Polkadot for Q3 and Q4, 815.36 thousand USDC. This is an interesting one because a lot of people feel it has similar vibes to the Kogami proposal previously. This one doing all right so far, though. 60% in favor of this one, with looks like 3 big votes already up. We also have the Merkle Science proposal. This was the Know Your Transfer ref. First one since that big batch that we had last summer for 100,000 DOT. This one almost halfway through the decision period, and right now struggling under the weight of 27.5 million DOT. Only 20% of voters, or of votes, in favor of this one so far. Finally, the marketing bounty refill. A lot of people were concerned about this one, thought it would be a battle, but so far the 200 DOT per month request is going very well. 80% in favor of this one, halfway through the decision period, and this will enter confirmation in now 13 days. Oh, what track are we on here? The treasurer track, yeah, so we're pretty much going to go to the end. But those are all the refs on the go. Finally, confirming this week, the Polkadot Community Foundation Polkadot app. This is the 1.03 million USDT for this sweet app. I don't know if you saw, but they actually onboarded their own credit card provider, Visa. And I think there's an interesting comparison to be had between the MasterCard that was onboarded by Nova and the Visa onboarded by the app here. For different consumers, I guess the more the merrier. But yeah, that's about to totally confirm. Now, the one question remains, though. The proposal to continue funding the Polkadot Community Foundation itself, which I will find so quick. Oh, no, not there. Shoot, guys. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it so quick. But anyway, that one I think is still struggling. I'm gonna have to update you guys on that next week, and we'll see about that. But the question is, if that doesn't go through, what happens to the app? So that's something we're gonna have to grapple with. I think we're just gonna end it there because we're getting a bit long, but it was definitely an interesting show. We'll be back on Monday for an episode of AAG that we're calling The Spider. And if you don't know why we're calling it that, well, you got to go and check out the active refs on Kusama right now. That's going to be pretty interesting. So we'll see you on Monday for The Spider, but not before Space Monkeys on Sunday with the Few team. This is the team behind the Mandala project, actually. We got them on the show, and they had a lot of interesting things to say. One of the greatest builders in the ecosystem, by my estimation. And there's definitely an inspiring chat there. Wow, we have like a very similar cat. That's interesting. But even on top of that, right now, I failed to mention at the beginning of the show, but I am in Berlin here for the Blockspäti. The Koos is covering the Blockspäti, all the action happening there. So make sure you are following Join Web Zero X account because we're going to have a lot of awesome content rolling out of there starting tomorrow. Everybody, thanks for being here. Have a great weekend. We'll see you very soon.